All right, everybody, and make sure I'm not muted. Hey, welcome. You guys made it. It's Friday. Yay, right? For those of us who really don't know what day it is, just another day that ends in Y. But at least you made it to the end of the week. I don't know how many of you guys have kiddos and stuff like that, but I think everybody. I think the last school around here just started this week. Which, man, if I remember right, it was when I was younger. This is the week that we started. But man, my kids have been in school a couple weeks now. It was ridiculous. Start like mid-August now. Insane. Anyway, welcome to the show. If you don't know what this is and you're kind of cruising around YouTube or you saw it on LinkedIn or one of the other social sites and you go, I'm just going to tune into this guy. What we do is we talk about different things in digital forensics, anything digital investigative related. And today is absolutely no different, but there is a group that you can join. There's help for you, believe it or not, that you can join. And it's right over. Yeah, there it is. It's over that way. If you're not a member of Cyber Social Hub, Cyber Social Hub is just an online community of digital investigators. That's it. Oh, it's free. We let you watch webinars. We do webinars probably once a week. I think this week's the first one we haven't done in quite some time, but we have one coming up next week. We try to do this podcast every Friday. Sometimes it doesn't always happen, or sometimes I need a mind break, and I just drink heavily instead. So no, I'm kidding. I do that anyway. There's no reason for whether to be on a show or not. All right, what am I going to fly through here and look at? Oh, we want to look at chat. Let's see if I can fly through there and see the chat. Oh, Ron, you made it. Hey, good, excellent, Ron. Appreciate it. And we're waiting kind of slowly to see who all makes it in here. But I'm just going to go ahead and, something I like to ask too in every episode is just, where's everyone from? So just type into wherever you're at. If you're watching us on, because we're broadcasting out to Rumble, YouTube. Rumble's our backup, obviously. LinkedIn, X, Facebook, and I think that's it. I think those are everything that we're broadcasting out to all right now. But the only place, obviously, that we can see the chats from are Facebook and YouTube. Everyone else is a little stingier with their APIs that we can tap into. But if you guys want to put where you're from, go ahead and do it. If not, you don't have to. That's all right. I'm going to go ahead and bring my guest up. I have known my next guest now for just, I'm not going to age either one of us, a couple days now. There he is. Keith Lockhart, sir. How are you?
Kevin, I can age us both. I mean, look at that. Well, here's how I'm going to age us. I'm from where you are from. And
yes.
Look, back in the day, school was bookended by Memorial Day and Labor Day. Summer was bookended, right? And school, those were the boundaries. And my kids have been in school for 3 weeks. I'm with you. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy what they do now. Yeah, it is crazy. I forgot to put my do not disturb on. We're going to get all kinds of alerts as I go. Let me do that right now. There we go. Now it's on. Don't get all these alerts. I know man, my kids get so bummed out because it feels like, well, here in Ohio, I don't know about everybody else on the planet, is, we always hear the cicadas start to go, and that's a good indication of like, oh man, school's coming back. Now I cheer. Now it's a happy thing for me, right? It's no longer a sad thing.
Go do something with yourself. Yeah.
But they're usually back in now before the cicadas start, which is kind of crazy, but nonetheless. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
right?
No, it's funny. Like ask. So I was saying to you earlier, like the environment you set up to do this, it's been a while since I've come on your show to see, but that's half my enjoyment. It's like, what has Kevin got cooking now? Just to watch all the little, and I know you're showing me your panel stuff, and I feel smart when I can make a video with Camtasia, and then I watch what you do there and how things pop up, and there's like, wow, I'm way out of my depth.
It's literally like, I spend forever programming it so I can push one button so it makes me look smarter. The software is actually
you made the easy button. Wow, you got the easy button.
That's what fantastic. It is, and it's just the Stream Deck right there. That thing right there is. It
looks like it should be in Knight Rider or something.
Is what controls it. Well, I have the smaller Stream Deck too, and I won't show you that one. It's another one, but it's smaller version with actual knobs and stuff on it. But yeah, I've programmed it to watch my lighting. This is how stupid I get. on the weekends when I'm drinking bourbon here. Watch my lighting. I just pushed one of the buttons and it changes my lighting here in the whole room. Turns everything to white. I can push another button, hands free, turns back to blue.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Since I'm on a camera, I can change the color of my office lights, but I'm not going to do it.
Do it.
Maybe at the end, I'll be like, watch me go red or blue or
Do it.
something. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to go green. So ask me how I am. Go on.
How are you, Keith?
I'm mad. And is it bad if I say I want to lock my 11-year-old in his room for the weekend? Can I get in trouble for that? Look, hey, I mean, I got to take care. I'm going to throw a cough drop in because all week, I mean, kids in cesspool, let's go to school and bring sickness home and get everybody sick. And I thought, I can skate this. Get away from me. Stay away from me. I can't be sick. Well, yeah, he got me a cold. But he also, I mean, if you've known me for any length of time at all, you'll recognize that last night started the NFL season, football season in America. And while it wasn't a blowout, so that could have been, considering all things, my team lost. And he's a button pushing little, oh, go Eagles. I'm like, dude, look, I will take your devices. You won't see the light of day all weekend. He just pushes the buttons. I'm like, oh, gee, look, there's a delay. Go to bed. He's sitting up there listening because I'm still downstairs. And he can hear me up through the loft. Dad. I'm like, yeah, so I'm surviving that. It wasn't a blowout. It's a good game, but that's
It
in terms of how we do it, right.
yeah, man, like I said in pre-show, we were I watched the first little bit of it, and the was it pre-kickoff that one thing happened? Was it pre-kickoff?
After the kick? Yeah, it was
Right after the kickoff. Right after the kickoff. And then I think it was in the first 5 minutes of the game that they had Dallas got a double personal foul on two of their players in one shot. There's helmets pulling off and everything
a lot
else.
of Philadelphia love going on there.
Yep. Yeah. There was some brotherly love. Isn't that the city of love, brotherly love?
Yeah, right from the kickoff, you could hear the crowd. Dallas sucks. Cowboys suck. I'm like, that's brilliant sportsmanship going on in Philadelphia. I love it.
That's right.
Anyway,
So
we'll
Ron's
see how
got
that
right
plays out over the next 6 months or something. Anyway,
yep.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here because, and this is just it'll be a continual conversation that just dates us. My record, I'm on a world record pace for social media this year. I think I made like 30 LinkedIn posts this year. And that's, for me,
Whoa.
unheard of. But what it's doing, I guess that's like the point of LinkedIn, because people are just, hey, Keith, what's going on, man? And sending me questions about what I would assume. And here's why I get in trouble a lot. I just assume people know stuff. And I don't know, I'll do one of my little 15-minute things and they'll write, hey, why would I do that? And I'm like, oh, wow, good question. Okay. I thought people would just do that. But like here's an example. When I came to Oxygen, I went and did a class. This is like 6 years ago, I guess. And we got to like searching. And one of the ways to search was by hash value. And we were doing, I'm into mobile forensics now. And I just assumed everybody in the class had come up through the computer forensic world. And everybody knew what a hash was, not a brownie or things like that. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, okay. So I had to roll clear back to like, old school National White Collar Crime Center days or something. Hey, let's talk about what a hash value is. And it was like new information, sliced bread for these guys because they just had no idea. So one of the conversations that's been coming up again like this is, remote collection. Well, okay, and you'll empathize with this too. Let's go back, Kevin, to pull the plug or not pull the plug on a machine, right? That was the question.
Oh, yeah.
Until volatile data became a thing, right? So you had to swallow the pill. Look, man, not pulling the plug anymore. Oh, no, right? Or educating the prosecution and defense the same way, right? So there's better communication, stipulations. Everybody knows what we're talking about, and swallowing that pill. And then, some people still get stuck in this, but acquiring everything versus targeted collection. Oh, I got to get everything I'm going to miss victim, apply a million reasons to that scenario. Or look, I don't have the time, energy, space, to collect everything anymore. So I have to target. I mean, litigation, legal stuff, there's a scope. Kevin and Keith's email from June of last year, and that's it. Who knows? So targeted collection became a thing.
Yep.
That's part of the reason I talk about remote data, because it's a great segue to devices, right? A phone. Like, you may not get all the information from a phone for a variety of reasons. A, you can't exploit what you want to get it. B, you're not allowed to get it. C, you're tethering it and you have an agent on it. Or, I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons why phone data can be problematic, including the fact it's not even there anymore on the phone, which is what we'll get into kind of the second half of this conversation. Like I put a little description together for this, and you GPT'd it into oblivion or something. It looked way cooler than the way I made it sound. But when we talk about that, like my predecessor at this company, Brian Hill, I'll just call him out because we did a webinar on the topic that is part of this conversation a long time ago about reasons to do remote versus local stuff. And he was in some corporate environment at the time, and he needed a bunch of phone data from a bunch of employees. And okay, so here's the old school. Everybody send their phones in from all over the country. Now, what does that do? Like, what does that incur for you? Kevin, give me 2 problems that brings us.
Oh my gosh, how am I supposed to do business when you got my phone?
Right? Business downtime, for sure. What else?
You're going to see all the crazy pictures I took on my phone. Oh, no, wait, that's not
maybe
proper to do on your work phone. Never mind.
But listen, that costs money to send things around like that, So it's the money overall, whether it's downtime or whether it's shipping things or something gets lost. There's 100 reasons. Well, not 100, but a ton you could apply to that. So back in that day, Brian just did a fun solution, and I didn't even know really the extent of how cool that could be. He just threw an agent on a USB and just sent a bunch of them around the country. He's like, hey, Kevin, call me to get that. I'll tell you what to do. Plug this in, install it on your phone, run this profile, get all this data, put it back on that thing, and send that to me in the mail, in an envelope or something, or package it up and send it to me over the wire or through our VPN or whatever. It's like, wow, okay. A, you're not going to see all the bad pictures on my phone. I'm much happier like that. And B, I can keep working because you're not taking me out like that. So we're not gone are the days, but there's certainly a viable alternative to, hooking up in the lab with a cable, however you might have got it there, to saving issues like that. But then it got onto, so people are like, okay, so let's do remote. That's a great idea. And then you get into tethered remotely or over the air remotely. The competitive landscape has all kinds of cool stuff. But if you're going to tether remotely, because if you're going to do an over the air, let's put an agent on the phone that doesn't connect to anything. There could be limitations to that for sure. Applications get locked down like crazy. Sometimes we have to code specifically for third-party app data that we want, or, depends on how you're doing it. So maybe you got to tether it remotely too. So you're in Ohio, I'm in Utah, and we're working together. And I'm like, Kevin, I need to get data from that phone. Please hook it up for me and give the trust to that machine for that iPhone. It can't pop out and do it itself. So somebody has to give the trust one time, or, hey, get that Android in debugging mode for me so I can talk to it with my machine. Even though you got the machine, we're still going to tether it, and it's got to do stuff like that because I can get more data like that than others. Now, mind you, not necessarily exploiting it if I can't get into it, but a lot of those are consent or corporate or you can get in this. You have access to the phone. Obviously, you got to be able to do stuff on it. So you got those issues, and then the phone presents the other problem that the data is not there. And do you have Chick-fil-A where you are, Kevin?
Oh yeah, just down the street, actually.
Just down the street. So we have a horrible problem in my family with Chick-fil-A, but that's always been a great example because, and I haven't tried in a long time, but when we first got the Chick-fil-A app, right? When you first started, it's like, hey, you ready to make your first purchase? And then, of course, now it's like red lights flash. You have problems. You have 32 million points. You could tour headquarters in a gold chariot if you ever come to Atlanta. We're really bad. But back then, if you took the phone off the air after all that and started the app, it would say, hey, you ready to make your first purchase? Because all that data is not there anymore, right? Enter cloud conversation for remote. And that brings up a whole new bag of tricks and considerations around that, publicly and privately and jurisdictionally. Some states are crazy, but let me back up from cloud a minute and go back to phones, because I'll bring up this example of we got tethered and maybe an over the air agent. Let's pretend you and me are at a bar with, pick somebody. Who's Ron? You talked to Ron. Ron's
Ron. And we're drinking bourbon because Ron.
Bourbon seems to be the drink of choice for DFIR folks. Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. Somebody made a a picture of me with a
Slide that over.
old fashioned, and I said, and it's fake, but I was going to say, okay, how do we determine this is a deep fake? And anybody that sits and drinks with me would know that should be a rum and Diet Coke. So that's obviously a fake picture because Heath would never have that in his hand. But I'm not a bourbon guy either. However, let's pretend we're all at the bar and Ron goes up to get a drink at the bar, leaves his phone on the table. You are my James Bond spycraft guy over in a booth somewhere with your laptop sitting there. And you got a little wireless point hanging off of it, right? So Ron walks up there and I quick throw an agent on his phone, connect it to your Wi-Fi point, access point, and just set it back down while you start slurping data off the phone while me and Ron are having drinks. That's a horrible, nefarious example, but that's over the air. That's kind of remote, even though it's just across the room. But considerations like that, and who knows what kind of permissions we have to do things like that or not. But yeah, going back to, let's say stuff's not even on the phone because that's super. I was going to do it at the end, but as a plug out to our marketing group, they're always out there looking at Gardner and trending websites. Oh, what's popular? Like 75. I think it's even in the description you made. 75% of cloud data is going to be, or everything's going to be in the cloud 75% by 2030 or something like that.
Yeah, you sent that to me. I'm not that smart, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not either. I had to get it
Look
from
at that
them.
number. That's a good number.
We were working on some blog. I'm like, where'd you get that? I'm like, well, I can't even say anything. Like Moore's law, right? Oh, power increases every so much, and thus data size. And what do they say? We've created 90% of the data in the last 10 years or whatever because we're going so wacko, digital.
Yeah, most of it's TikTok cat videos or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the scroll of death. Yeah. So we talk cloud, and then it's like, well, if we're going to get cloud data, remote data, I guess, like we were talking Camtasia, even putting stuff collaborative Camtasia in the cloud now. You need credentials generally to get in there. Well, first, depending on where you work and how you're doing it, you may need express written consent from Judge so and so to get in there, right? I mean, you can't just go take all your cloud data unless you're my kids and I'm still paying for your phone, I guess. But yeah, so we go back, clear back to old school again. Where do we get credentials to get into cloud, right? Passwords on the sticky notes under the keyboard, or maybe I can collect somebody's computer and get tokens from some of the apps that are desktop apps. Where do I get that stuff? And then when you're trying to do it, because people are like, yeah, okay. I mean, pick the cloud platform of your choice. The issues are going to be the same. What if they got 2FA enabled? And you might need a device that's accessible to either scan a code or, put a code in a device to prove you're the right person to get it. I mean, things like that. But humans are ding dongs. We'll still use the same password. The same way we'll use the same password and autocomplete it somewhere, making it more available to get for something like this. You got to be careful because the scope's always an issue, but think of like your Apple services, Kevin, or your Google services. If I get your Google credentials or your Chrome password and account, that's like 18 Google services that I can, if I'm not careful, I'm downloading your entire universe, and wasn't
right.
I'm not supposed to be doing that part, all that, right? I mean, sorry, what were you going to say? Because that's certainly a concern, just like getting all the data from a device, There's a guy, I don't remember who it was. I read something in one of our internal chat rooms, like some customer somewhere, and I'm not fronting them out, but gosh, they had like over a terabyte cloud collection going, like over 10 days or something crazy. And I'm like, I don't know if that was the ultimate goal, but it's something like, hey, it was still going, is the progress bar? Oh yeah. Well, if you want to keep going, but you may not have the time or the space or the energy to store that, let alone go through it all. Or I don't know if there was a scope there or not. Back down to, I could social engineer, hey Kevin, what are you doing? What's your kid's name? Because you're under arrest anyway, so I'm trying to get credentials to get in. Because cloud introduces the factor, like there could be exigent circumstances, like, hey, you know what, Kevin, your kid's missing. You can't get their location right now. Let's get in the cloud and see if we can find the last known location. That's more real time than we can get otherwise. Then somebody's providing you credentials like that. The exigent circumstance example. Otherwise, this is not a friendly relationship. It's not like all these platforms are like, hey, here's how you get into our servers and get data from it, So it's one of the most volatile environments. And I always laugh at ours because when we build it, I'm always looking for little update flags. It's great if there's a new service, but it's even better if there's updates because, my gosh, what worked yesterday and then a software platform comes out, doesn't work tomorrow. Like, oh, it just came out. Well, somebody just changed something. That's just the nature of that beast, right? They're not do that.
100%.
So, yeah, I mean, people are going, so why would I do this? Or then how do I do this? And, what should I look out for? And it's just things like that. I mean, look, when you get a phone in a lab, you have the considerations of whether it's personal downtime. I'm not giving you that, or you're going to take all that and I can't do anything, or business downtime, or shipping those things. You know, do you do that, or do you find a way to do it remotely? Anyone who gets remotely, do you need friendly hands on the other end of it? Do you have the ability to do it over the air, and is that going to be sufficient for your needs? Well, you can't get into the phone at all. Look, find credentials for something else. Throw the phone in the lake and go to the cloud. Tons of data up there. It's a trove essentially. Caveated with got to have the right technology. Got to have the ways to get into it. Might have to satisfy 2FA. You need to be able to worry about scope and downloading the entire phone book. Or heck, you may be in a company environment, just like you'd log in anything else, and there's a banner. Hey, we're going to pull your data anytime we want because you work here. I mean, not a bad thing, just the nature of that beast. So, yeah. On the flip side of that, gosh, you got to think of biometric data. Not like your face to get into your Apple account is stored in the cloud, but the hash of it is. I mean, if they're doing it the right way, the safe way. But think of health data. I mean, my gosh, Fitbit and all the things that are stored, health data up there. I mean, there's some seriously, like California, I'm not calling it a whole state at once, but they got a privacy act, and Illinois has got the BIP, I don't know how to say it, but the Biometric Information Privacy Act. GDPR at the grandest scale. I mean, don't get yourself in trouble, even
There's
though you think
so many of
the
them.
app. Yeah. And so when people are like, what do I do this and what do I be careful of? Yeah, those kind of things. Because you really got to not get yourself in trouble if you're, depending on how you're doing this and why you're doing it. And what people said, oh yeah, just go get that. And like, oh, disregard that. It's not something I got. So, that was a kind of conversation. It's not a super long conversation, but it was just one I wanted to have where it's the topic that came out. We did a cloud tech bite a while back, and that sprung a lot of interest on people because it was cloud specific, but people were like, why would I do that as compared to local devices? Well, the issue may be you can't get into a local device. And then the issue will be more and more and more when that won't work. It's going to be up there as our marketing research will show us and people's experience. And it's like when I can remember back at Access Data Days when people talk about collaborating with data, and it's like, well, we can't put that data up in a cloud. Are you crazy? And all of a sudden there were government sanctioned cloud environments that yes, you will, and you're going to put it up there. And I was like, wow, what a dramatic improvement that is. And that was just for evidence data, that scares me to death. I mean, IoT data, we know going to the cloud, my famous story, my kid where he was probably 5 or 6 years younger and yelling Alexa over and over and over again, not recognizing you had to give the Alexa something to do when you do it. And I'm in the background yelling at a Cowboys game. And I'm like, you miserable, blah, blah, blah. And he's going, Alexa, Alexa, Alexa. And finally, mom's like, we have to tell it something. Well, it's just recording away. So I go to some conference and I'm like, yeah, hey, the benefit of cloud data is you can actually get the recording instead of like the text version of this. So I'm just sort by size. Let's find a good juicy one. There's a really big one. And I play it and it's me in the background. Yeah.
I remember that. You used that as an example. I can't remember.
Yeah, it is a horrible one.
Funny.
It's a timely one now because I'm surprised I didn't get caught doing that last night again. But he knows better now. I mean, but yeah, gosh, you got Alexas in court cases and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. But I mean, that was the thought process, was just to get on here and illuminate a little bit some of the common questions I've been getting. Hate to say it, for social media. Is LinkedIn true social media? What do you call that? Is that social media?
I think it is.
Facebook.
I think it is. Yeah.
Active, I guess, and that's where people are sending inquiries again. I'm like, ooh, let's get on and have an extended conversation that brings, a little bit of phone, remote, local reasoning versus cloud reasoning, and some of the concerns around that, because people kept asking, So, is any you throw a comment back to that, because that was the messaging I was trying to get out to people, short or in between.
Yeah, and just think of all the, believe it or not, there's new cloud data that I don't know if anyone's done an investigation yet on this type of data. Obviously, the other side of my company is an AI company, and we deal in voice technologies. And that's the AI that we're focused on. But like, have you downloaded the Grok app on your phone by chance?
Not on my phone, but I've been.
Oh my gosh. Go do it, because it has conversation.
No, why?
No, it has conversation mode, where it's just voice back and forth. going into the cloud. And the types of cloud data here, I'm trying to open this up as I do it, and let me not get her to actually go here. It has all kinds of different modes. So if you want to argue, there's an argumentative mode. There is a conspiracy theory mode.
Debate mode.
Yeah, hold on. Let me. She's gonna start talking to me here.
Now listen to Kevin Groff.
All right, I'm ready when you are. What's the conspiracy theory?
So, yeah, there's a
gosh.
romantic mode, a therapist mode, storyteller, kids time. Here, let me go with there's unhinged. Oh, there's a sexy mode. Here's conspiracy.
Kevin.
So, so tell me about Keith Lockhart downloading, phones in a bar with Ron.
Keith
See,
Lockhart?
there's no conspiracy.
Oh man, that Boston Pops conductor?
You're a
Word
Boston
is he
Pops. Anyway. Anyway.
No, lucky for me, the baseball player and the Boston Pops guy always come up first. So I'm really low on the list like that. That's fantastic. But now I'm curious to find out what Keith was doing downloading phones in a bar.
Yeah, go to conspiracy. It's got a conspiracy theory mode. I love it. Man, I go down too many rabbit holes, and I strongly believe the moon is fake now. So there we go. Thanks, Grok.
Just to sit there in the airport, when you hear everybody on their phone and big loud conversations. Now that I can tailor it like that, I mean, yes, I am going to the moon in a private rocket ship from this airport. Yes, who knows what comes out of that? Oh my gosh. No, I mean, not that I'm ever struggling to not talk, but I don't have a whole monstrous conversation to have about it, except those two or three things I want to pull together, just because people are asking, and I want to get a broader audience reply back out to those instead of individually. I'm like, wow, let's just go back and have the conversation again. It's like having the hash conversation with the class. Hey, if you didn't know what this is, because believe it or not, people are still getting into the industry. They're coming at stages that they didn't start from scratch, and they're moving through the timeline. They're just starting later in the timeline, but getting on it, and these questions still come up, I guess. And not that I want to go open that can of worms for a bunch of new people, but all those considerations are still there, no matter what technology they're going to use. Mm-hmm. And depending on which job sector they're in and what authority they have to go get stuff or not, or if it's authority versus consent, all those things. So there you go. I noticed you still have stormtroopers in the background. Can you tell me the name of the new park in Universal or Disney, whatever, that's got the 5 environments that are like, it's a new place? Mm-hmm. Because
Epic Universe.
Epic Universe. What are the 5 things?
So there's, I don't know what it's called for sure, but one's Frankenstein.
Okay.
It's like the Frankenstein's castle's there. And then obviously Mario is one. Oh, criminy.
Oh, like Super Mario, like Mario World? That Mario? Okay.
Yeah. And then there's villains, right? Disney villains got their own. Because, it's not all princesses, right? Some kids are little jerks and they relate to no, I'm kidding. To the villains a little bit better. So there's 3. I don't remember. Relate. Chad, help us out here a little bit. Online community. I can't remember. Somebody's got Google next to them.
Well, fall break, right? Family's going to Florida. And I'm like, ooh, I want to go see some of that action. They did some good advertising.
Yeah.
It leaves a lot of fantasy imagination, but
It's awesome because we were looking at it. Well, before I went down to IASIS, it opened like 2 weeks later. Yeah, when we were in IASIS in April, beginning of May. Yeah, and then I was like, you're kidding me, we just missed it. But it was open for, I think, season pass holders for limited test runs, right? Make sure the employees are doing everything right.
Oh, wow.
So we didn't get to go to
it. Ride.
So. That's right.
I see.
Yep. I got to look it up now. So.
Well, so that's, I did want to, that's the other topic I wanted to hit on really quickly, because we'll be down there for fall break right before our conference, and then we'll just stay and go to that. So lucky me. But if I don't talk to you before that, I'll certainly talk to you after we go, or maybe from there. Yeah, check it out, man.
There you go.
Right? Yeah, I will cloud you some data, some videos for sure.
That would be really cool. So Epic Universe, here it is. Epic Universe has, come on, quit taking so long to look stuff up. Anyway, I'll find. I'll keep scrolling as we're yapping. It doesn't really break it down. imagine this: another Harry Potter world, the Ministry of Magic. So yeah, that's number 4. And then How to Train Your Dragon is number 5.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So there
Another
they
Harry
all are.
Potter.
Celestial Park is one. Dark Universe. That's where Frankenstein's castle and all the evil people are at. How to Train Your Dragon. Super Nintendo World, and then the
Super Nintendo World.
Ministry of Magic from Harry Potter. 5 areas in one park.
All in a day, I'm sure, or 2.
That's
Yeah.
right. Hey, if you need a Harry Potter wand, we have several of them here somewhere.
Well, not that I keep talking about Disney, but we went the last time we went down there and they had the Universal Park. We had no idea. Like we almost missed the fact you could take the train from one area to another, which was
Yeah.
all like what? Didn't even realize that for like the first day we were there. And then you get over there and you get the wand and you're like doing all the little magic things all over the little town there. It's crazy. Whether or not you're into Harry Potter, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin joined the
Oh,
call
Justin.
a wild time. He says, "Did I miss the K-pop Demon Hunter section?" The fact that
Okay,
you know
so
about that in the first
the only
place.
reason I know what that is, I do too, is because last
I do
weekend, 2 weekends ago, some little friend of my son's bought him tickets to go see. I'm like, the what? What is that? And I had to go learn what that was. Yeah, that's not even right.
Yeah, I walked in and saw all 3 of my kids, right, who range from age 14 down to 9. They're sitting here. I walk in the room and they're watching it. I'm going, "What are you guys watching?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's area 6 of the new park. Justin, so and maybe you can put a comment in there. So before you got here, even see, everybody's about that. Even irrelevant.
He was singing. Don't let him fool you and
The
dancing.
conversation of competitive landscape. I was talking about remote data and how people are getting to the point with, well, they'll come out and say, well, why would we even do that? Why would we take stuff from a cloud versus a phone? And if we're going to take a phone, why would we do it somewhere else versus not here in a lab? It's more safe, or there's 100 reasons around that. And the only reason I'm saying that, Justin, is because we always talk stuff like this too. And I remember attending one of your guys' webinars about your remote stuff, and you got to be here. You can do a sanity maintenance check for me that, yeah, people face the same problems no matter what technology you're using. Deep fake Keith dancing at Cape. No, Ron, no.
I challenge it. I throw the gauntlet down.
You throw the gauntlet down.
I have prizes to give away if
I can tell you, even if this isn't a deep fake of me right now, that I would never do that. So there's things that can easily dissuade that. But no, Justin, the sanity maintenance of local versus remote collection, and then the fact that the data isn't even on a device anymore because it's going to be in the cloud, and what do you do to get that? Why would you get that? What concerns and scope issues might you have doing that? What exigent circumstances might surround that to say get in there right away? You may have some interesting stories or not too, but that was the focus of our conversation or my message when I got here, just because people have been asking about that. And I make assumptions that in the timeline of DFIR, everybody's started at the beginning, and that's not true. And they'll come back and want pointed questions and answers about things I take for granted. So I want to come on here and just send some of those things back out to the masses instead of people doing onesie twosie questions like that. Yeah, I don't think we're far out before remote data will be king. So I was trying to shout out my own marketing team that, they say in 5 years, 75% of everything will be in the cloud. And I don't know if we're not even close to that now. Maybe that's a corporate data thing, but
yeah,
with all the social media, with everything people get caught on scrolling of death, that's all cloud. It's all cloud. And yeah, when devices come out without ports, then what?
There was a device that was way before its time that stored everything in the cloud. Sidekick. Was it the Sidekick?
Sidekick.
It was called a Sidekick. Justin he may remember it. Someone may remember it. I'm pretty sure it was a Sidekick. And it stored 0 data on the device, contacts, everything stored there. And you would have to get it from the provider, anything that was on that device. Was it a Sony Sidekick? What was the
T-Mobile Sidekick?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one of those little, let me see myself
Yeah,
on the screen.
It's slid up.
Put the screen up, there's a little keypad under it.
Yep.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yep. And then my current and last phone of wireless charging, if it wasn't for Android Auto, would need a USB port. Yeah, right on. Pretty soon, I think they'll solve that problem, sending that data back and forth. At least they have devices, Justin, that solve that problem on TikTok Shop. Not that I'm addicted. It's like the
If it
new home
wasn't for
shopping
Android
network.
Auto, I wouldn't need you. So you have to hook up to your Android Auto with USB.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to in my truck too. I know. I don't know if the newer cars have to do that or not, but I know
CarPlay,
they've solved that
Apple's
problem.
CarPlay. I'm totally Bluetooth and wireless. It's great.
Awesome. Man, my car's
Wow.
only a 2020. It's not that old, and I still got to hard line it in to get it to work.
And that's crazy because a vehicle data. That's not even a Burla issue. That's CarPlay, because I think it still works. I did a presentation somewhere, and somebody's like, you can get CarPlay data even if your phone's locked. I'm like, what do you mean by that? And I didn't realize it was
Yeah.
only this year when I took a screenshot of something on my phone while I was in the car and sent it to somebody, and it had a screen of my phone and my CarPlay in the same screenshot. I'm like, wow, okay.
That's
It's a
crazy.
car issue. Oh, yeah, I didn't even
Yeah.
realize it was doing that until I looked at the picture later. I'm like, what is that? Oh, so you go in there and you can scroll through my last searches on Google Maps and where I've been, even though my phone's locked up in the console. I'm like, that's really wicked. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to call the company out. They know who they are if they're listening, but they used to go rent cars from DC metro area, rent places, and pull all the stuff out. And it was some high level data. You'd
Yeah,
be amazed, like the senator data, the congressman data that would be in these
contacts and stuff. Oh
cars.
yeah.
I'm like, hello, you guys. But
Well,
yeah,
I've had a car
insane.
from the dealer when mine's getting worked on, and you get in there and see all the people that have hooked their phones up to it before and all that. That's like going to the hotel lobby to the business machine in the lobby to check in for the airport. It's like, wow,
Yeah. Hey,
no, this people bad hygiene, privacy
random
hygiene.
random fact: the guy who invented that technology in the hotels on the computers was a company called Uniguest that originally did it. Um, he is my business coach. I probably talk to him several times a week. So
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
sold his company. He's sold it a long time ago, like $20 million or something ridiculous. But yeah, random fact that you didn't know. There you go.
Yeah, random fact for sure, for sure. Well, okay. What else?
So more along the lines of remote data, because this is an area that obviously I play in that sandbox, but it's from the other side now. I haven't actually done a forensic exam in a long time. I don't know the full capabilities anymore. What's actually stored on a device without going through and poking and prodding at things anymore. It'd be interesting to see what types of data were local versus cloud. And I guess my next question to that would be, if you do need to do a remote collection on someone, now obviously if it's targeted, you have a pretty good idea of what you're going after. But in those instances, let me see here. Speak to the, I don't know, law enforcement community for a minute, just because that's where I come from, and I can think of a scenario there. Is if I'm dealing, and remote collection would be ideal in that case, right? Because a lot of times, even when I was in the drug unit, you were in the drug unit, we'd go in, we'd pull contents of a phone, but we we didn't want the bad guys to know that we pulled the contents of the phone, right? So we'd leave them there. We'd just pull the phone and out, keep them in the other room, pull data out. But with remote collections, that would be a heck of a lot easier to do, and they would continue using their phone. A lot of times we would go up on a wiretap or something like that. So obviously we don't want them dumping their phone. We want them to hang on to it.
I
But
guess if you're trying to be sneaky and you get them someplace else away from the phone while you do the across the bar scenario, right?
yeah,
I mean, if you install that and you got somebody back, waiting for it to go over the air back to the server, and then you leave them there with the phone. Yeah. I mean, that's a crazy cool example. That's like a probation and parole world, right? Can you imagine, rather than knock, knock, knock on Kevin's door, let me see your phone. Oh, random. Or let me see your computer. Hey, you're not even supposed to be on that computer or whatever it is. Well, look, how about part of your the stipulation you being out is you
oh
put
yeah,
this agent on there. And if it ever goes from green to not green in this little window where it's hooked up, violation, because then you can just take data whenever you want, like you said, potentially, depending on how things are set up, and not have to go even make the trip. That's crazy.
oh
And
yeah.
Let me get
Probation,
back to,
parole. Folks would love that.
I mean, who was at the keyboard at the time of the crime? Oh, Kevin had my phone during that time. Yeah, well, you got to prove that. That's not my problem. Prove that yourself, right? But so something like that. And like you hit on what I think is probably the key. That's targeted collection versus what's your policy. Because even if you're remote, you still got to get it as much as you can every single time. That's like companies that get into, even on a PC. I gotta get an E01 of the PC drive for remotely. I'm like, oh, you really want to do that? We have to. I'm like, okay, well, do it at night. Get the most bandwidth out of the network you can get. Do it. Don't do it over dial-up. Get
That's right.
I mean, what do you say to that? But see, conversely though, I would make a remote connection and just dig right into the file system, and start exporting things back out of particular folders. Target what you want like that. Part of it's, again, I use what do I say? Time, space, and energy. You don't have the time, like physically, you just don't have the time to do it. B, everybody's coming back to work or something. Maybe there's a time issue like that. Space, where are you going to put that? I mean, even if you're remote and you hook up a USB drive, and how big is that hard drive if you really got to get it all? I mean, maybe you go back to old school and just pull it, and there's a whole different way you go about that. But phones the same way. This is like, Kevin, if I'm getting a collection off a phone, and I just pen whip all the options, and I'm just going to say one of the options is get all the APKs. Okay, well, are you really going to decompile them? Are you doing a malware investigation where you got to get in them? Otherwise, you are quintupling the data size you're trying to pull back remotely. Who cares about those? I just want the user data, right? Turn that. If all the pen whip boxes you just did, go undo that one, just as a sanity maintenance for yourself, because you're targeting what's more efficient. If that's not part of what you need, I mean, that's a pill for a lot of, especially when you're saying talk to law enforcement, to swallow, because, well, if we don't do that, we might not be able to find that. Clear the whole house. Just clear the kitchen. No, we're good. Clear the whole house and then come back and do whatever we're gonna do. I get it,
Right.
but maybe it's a pill to swallow for a lot of reasons. Efficiency, time. I mean, you can almost call that triage. If I can take a USB and go run a quick profile on a bunch of phones laying across the table. Oh, these three have responsive data to my need. Then maybe I'm cutting a lot of stuff out like that. And I'm on site doing that, but it's a targeted conversation at that point versus remote. So that's a big part of it, because if you're remote, again, time, space, and energy is always a consideration.
Yeah.
Whether it's go on.
Do you think this is more accepted or more used, I guess, not accepted, in a corporate setting environment? I think you alluded to that earlier in our conversation.
Okay, it's funny. We went to Legal Tech, or one of those shows this year, and the response to, well, not the response, the kind of the really, what are you guys doing? So we can get mobile data into our matters and our legal, like, yeah, we make a load file in our tools, right? Let's give it to a bunch of the popular platforms like that. And the interest was amazing, so much that like we're putting focus on that as a thing, because think of the drastic difference, Kevin. In a corporate world, 9 chances out of 10, there is no issue with exploiting a device because it's a corporate device.
That's right.
The big thing that's going to stump, oh, I need that whole user space, or that whole that encrypted space. They don't know. That's not even an issue there. So the ease with which this ideology can be adopted is way different. So there's a ton of interest in that. A ton, just because their model of getting the data they want is super easy and super targeted, because I can either be getting baselines of data from you in the middle of the night, Kevin, so you're not exfiltrating information you're not supposed to, IP theft or something, or I can just go look at the messages because we're getting sued. So let me go grab everything that is relative to that litigation. So it's a much easier model to digest or probably implement than some of the law enforcement roadblocks like that, including this phone's not accessible, which then get on the cloud rock, take the leap over to a place you might be able to access it in a different way, because you got to have it. Yeah, you got the authority to do it. You just need to get it a different way.
Yeah.
And then corporate the same way. Again, the banner, hey, everything you do is in the cloud, but it's our cloud data, so don't be surprised when I come get it from you, or I come ask you about it, that type of thing. So yeah, I think there's a definite uptick in that as people realize they can do that. But and some remote things, there's a line between collection and, incident response and remediation and things like that. Obviously, a forensic component of when you finally get things restored and back and running, you want to find out what happened, right? So the dead box forensic part of the machine that was compromised or something, that's part of the game. But uh, a lot of people aren't like, oh, there's a bad process, let's go kill that. That's a really different model of remote work versus remote collection and targeted
Mm-hmm.
collection versus remote destruction or remediation and things like that. But I'm a firm believer, though, again, that's a pill to swallow. Rather than, man, if we can educate people if we can educate the policymakers that say you got to get the whole drive, so the people that are in that spot can go get targeted what they want, that is just a monumental change. And it's a huge part of remote, and those are, if you take the funnel of impact, not taking business time, people, as we talked about, bringing business down or bringing people's ability to get the work done because they ship their stuff away, that's horrendous. So if we can get rid of that, that's huge. And then if we can get to the point where, look, on my end of it, if I'm only taking the data I need and not waiting forever, or time, space, and energy concerns or legality concerns, because I need to get only what I'm supposed to get, that's huge too, for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
On either side, corporate or LE.
Quick targeted, because
Good point.
I can't remember the law that regulates it, but I remember early days of researching this stuff was, police departments can get sued, right? Cities and municipalities, they can be sued just as like everyone else can. So imagine if you take down, in this case, it was the case I specifically read about was a server, but imagine if it was a CEO's phone instead of, and that's how the
Right.
company runs, and everybody's remote mostly for today's world, at least in my world. Nobody actually works from of an office anymore. But imagine how much money flows through a particular device. And that was something we were taught to scope that first. It's like, hey, if you go and you take down someone that's just all ecom and you take their own one server to image, you're not going to take that server. You're going to do a targeted collection, right? And the same thing with
in my opinion, if you're approaching it the right way,
yeah, you're not going to. Holy
I
crap.
eat those pills a lot now, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, how much money passes through a particular server at any given moment, and I think the same thing goes with a CEO's phone. What if he has an important merger meeting? Or we could play what if all day long. I think the more targeted and probably remote is definitely the way things are going, and we're probably behind the times a little bit for adoption of that.
Well, you're driving down a path that brings up a whole another set of things like that, like, because you're using a CEO suite, so maybe that targeted collection has a specific profile for the C-suite folks as compared to the folks on the cashier registers or something like that. I mean, there's things you want to get here that you don't want to get there, and when do you want to get them? How do you automate? Because now you could be talking a ton of people, right, in a corporate world. So how do you automate and schedule that kind of thing in the middle of the night, or in a way that you're doing those collections appropriately targeted, not disruptive across a wide range of, like the old school, just give me this range of IPs. And I would just take people, custodians, and put them in a group. Boom, hit that group, at this time with this targeted profile. So yeah, you're totally hitting.
Educate me a little bit. When that agent's installed, is it something that just kind of hangs out there and can be activated at any point? Or is that something that a user has to be there?
Both kinds. Like, hey, let's hook up something. Well, I mean, and when you got to talk PC versus device, right? You can put a static one on a PC, call it up whenever you want. You can put a static one on a phone. You can put one on the phone that's tethered, and it can stay there or delete itself when it's done. You can put an over-the-air one that stays there as an app. There's all kinds of variations to that, and maybe procedural policy-related limitations on what kinds you can have and not. But yeah, it depends on which method you're going down. And I think the flexibility in that is good, because that leads to some of the automation or, downtime times to do things versus not. Or geography. My gosh. I mean, you're in Ohio, I'm in Utah. We could have a static app on my device, and you'd be like, okay, Keith, let's do it. And, I could start it here, or you could start it in the middle of the night maybe, or I could be your friendly hands and plug it in. I mean, the geography alone is a reason for remote. It's just such a huge differential for, again, shipping money, time, business downtime, and all that. It's amazing when you get something like that going and watching it in action and go, wow, I've overcome these barriers. Okay, great. Or these roadblocks.
Yeah. Huge. Holy crap. Have we really been talking an hour? No
No,
way.
12:54. Wow.
I see
Okay.
254. No way did it go by that quick. It seemed
Well,
like we were talking
when
about
Disney comes into play,
well, we didn't talk about, well, I guess, all right, maybe 5 minutes for Disney.
but that's a good conversation for people to know too, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
look, so I didn't
Disney's a
even
good
plan to talk
segue.
that long at all, but get this out to I'm glad it's because these go on YouTube later, right? When
Yeah,
people like, maybe
Yeah.
there's a keyword search about remote stuff, and just to educate and illustrate some of those concerns around it. And you brought up some great points too. So
It
I
is.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'd
I
like to
interrupted
see if
you.
anyone's watching this later, because obviously we do put everything into post as well. And this goes into audio then to all of the podcast platforms too.
Well, I'm going to link people to this, so when they come,
There you go.
if we get more questions about it, like, hey, go watch this conversation. You are spurring this type of video or this type of podcast on the Cyber Sleuth Show.
Yeah. Make comments about questions and stuff. Now, obviously, I watch YouTube pretty closely. All the comments that come and go out of that. Facebook, I don't watch that one too much. Sorry if you're watching from Facebook right now. But which makes me upset is LinkedIn does not allow, which of course Microsoft owns them, right? They don't allow the API for the chat to go back and forth between LinkedIn and this platform. So if anyone's like been commenting in LinkedIn, I usually have to have a separate window, which I forgot to have open to see what's going on over there. But other ones come right back. So I'll go and check all that stuff. But leave a comment, ask a question, and I'll make sure if Keith doesn't see them, then if you at Keith Lockhart, it's really that simple on LinkedIn. He'll see it right away, and you can ask that question of him if you have any questions about this. I have a lot more questions, but I want to be respectful of your time too, and I want to talk about Disney again for a second, because you're going to be down there when?
Oh, right. So fall break. So this is October, and no, my whole tie-in. I got so hosed by this last year because we're doing our user summit, our legacy and logic event down there. And last time we did it in Virginia, and we picked the date of fall break after my family made this big vacation plan. I'm like, really? Okay. But this year, fall break's right in front of this. So yeah, if you're anywhere near Disney in October during fall break and you want to stick around and come over to the Legacy and Logic event, by all means, come learn all kinds of crazy things with us. But even better, stick around for the free training day after that me and Amanda are doing. That'll be a blast. So, well, thanks for look at that, Kevin. You brought up the whole website. That's fantastic.
Yeah, look at this. Yeah, you guys want to go? It's just oxygenforensics.com.
Okay, so since you're there, Kevin,
click,
I want to see what it looks like
blah, blah, blah.
on a machine that's not mine. Click the view agenda button.
View agenda. Oh, this one right here.
Look. Yeah, let's see that. Oh,
PDF.
Look at that.
All PDF. You can print this sucker. Look at that. You can print it.
Love it. That came out really good. Yeah. Listen, and this is a hey, welcome to an oxygen event, and let's not mention oxygen again until training on Thursday. So we have all kinds of people come talk about everything that has nothing to do with
You've
oxygen.
You've got Bob O'Leary there. You've got Bob.
Well, Bob's threatening me to come.
Oh, no. Did he?
No, we got a really good group, a really fun agenda lined up this year.
I love Bob. He was he was actually an instructor of mine when I was still a copper. Some little thumb drive thing he was teaching. I can't remember the name of it now. He remembers it.
But yeah, I'll be there the whole week beforehand, and I will go to Epic, and I will send you something while I'm there. We'll do a check it out, Kevin.
Just TikTok live it. Teaching you more, or just
kids, get over here and give Kevin some content.
There you go. That's how you do it, right?
Hey, listen, when I need evidence, I just give my phone to my kids. Go do something.
Right. Yeah, Cyber Social Hub is not yet on TikTok, but I personally am.
Don't do it.
Oh, okay. I this platform that I'm on doesn't broadcast out to it, and I probably. The younger generation, well, heck, the older generation is getting on there, and we're just not yet. So we're not.
There's enough things to scroll through. Oh my gosh.
If you guys want to see the weirdest part of society, Number one, be a cop. All right, you're going to see that already. But the second way to do that is go watch TikTok lives at like 2 in the morning.
Whatever in the morning. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
Actually, you can watch them anytime. Who am I kidding? Just flip on. And I'm watching this stuff. And Keith, one of the things that made me laugh, I was actually showing my wife this very thing. It was probably 6:00, 6:30 this morning. I popped on TikTok live, and there's people older than us with this huge DJ setup, like spinny digital turntables and the flashy lights. And it's like, where's their walker? Is it like just off camera? But
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my God.
but they're spinning it and jamming. I'm like, I can't throw down too much hate because they're living their best life. They really are. Maybe that was a childhood dream of theirs, and now they're fulfilling it on TikTok. It's some crazy crap that I see there.
I could probably get a 5K out tomorrow, but I wouldn't walk for a month. I mean, it would be that bad.
It's funny. It's funny because me, conspiracy theory, go back to it. All the best ones are on TikTok. It really is really good. So there's one guy, show you how exciting TikTok is. He films the night sky and zooms in with an infrared camera. And you can obviously see satellites, and he points out when one changes directions, and it just starts going crazy. And I'm watching this going, that's definitely an alien. Definitely an alien. Or a bug.
Yeah, it's AI, alien invasion is what
Right.
that is. Yes.
100%.
Well, if anything from this visit, Kevin, I'm going to go get Grok on my phone just so I can have conspiracy conversations with myself. Jared, you're in Tampa. Okay, listen. If you come, Jared, to the event, I'm going to remember this, and I'm going to give you some swag out of my personal stash. Because you came to the Cyber Sleuth show. You got to come over to the conference. Hey, and come to training. I mean, it's free. We're going to have a blast at learning all kinds of crazy things that will make you a dangerous ninja on some techniques and topics when you leave. So come do that.
Yeah, very cool. Justin's going to be there. Justin, when are you going to be there? Everybody's down there in
Going
October.
to Disney. See, it's fall break. That's it.
Is it?
Oh, InfoSec. Well,
no, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, look, when you can tie work and play together, or maybe concurrently, or not concurrently, but consecutively, that's
what we do. We go down to IASIS. Is we usually get the weekend block, take the whole family.
In the middle.
You're in the show Thursday, Friday, then you got the weekend off, and you go to the parks.
Perfect.
And then
Yes.
Monday back in the show. The kids hang out at the pool, and then jet out.
Love it. Love it.
Very cool. Yes, for sure, sir. Thank you very much for hanging out with us today, man. I appreciate it as always. And I expect to see some videos or something from there, because I'm literally gonna set an alarm on my calendar, the dates of this, and I'm gonna message you to harass you. You said you're gonna be down a week early, right?
Yeah, I'll be there the whole week in front of. So our event is the week of the 20th, and fall break for us is the week prior to that. So I'll be there. I go down the 11th.
Are you spending the whole week in the parks? Is it like do they have like a massive park hopper?
Week pass? I don't know. Well, there's usually like 3 days, right? You get this park, that park.
You can get up to 5. Well, we used to get 5-day park
with
passes.
The new one. I gotta investigate the new one, the Epic stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Of course, they've raised prices on everything. But a couple years ago, when we were at IASIS, we got a resort down there. Not Disney though. It was Universal, so that's probably why it was cheaper. And 5-day park hopper passes for everyone in the family, and it was like $3,000 for the whole 5 days.
Yeah,
that was cheap.
Bad.
No, it's cheap.
I haven't been at Disney World in a million years. I've been at Disneyland in California. I mean, that's like where everybody out here on the other side of the mountains goes. But I went to Universal in Florida, but I haven't been to Disney or Epcot like forever.
Really?
So
have you been to
bigger and better, right?
Have you been to the Star Wars area down there in Florida?
Not in Florida, just California.
Oh,
just California.
See, now I can't compare because I've not been to the one in California. But
I hear it's bigger and better.
The lightsaber that's right here, that's actually setting vertically, not the angled one. Yep. I built that in the lightsaber experience.
No, I love it. My kid and I built one in California. I cried. I can't believe this is happening. Right?
I know. I'm super nerdy. I filmed the whole thing with my GoPro. I'm like, this is cool.
I did. So I kept putting my hand on, bracing myself on the cut. Did I tell you that story? And the agents come out of the wall like an alien, and they're like, please remove your hand from that. I'm like, oh, sorry. Well, about 10 minutes later, I'm trying to film and I do it again. They're like, this is your last warning. Don't touch that. And I had no idea what it did. And I won't ruin the secret for anybody. But I'm like, oh, I'm like,
I didn't know either.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Then we stuck around till they were closing the park and they're kicking me and the kid out. My wife and daughter left and me and my son stayed there because we wanted a clean shot in front of the Millennium Falcon with his lightsaber. And of course, to get everybody out of there, they kept coming out. We finally got one. So then we got kicked out and we're walking through the park alone, Kevin, on this strip of asphalt, and just me, him, and his purple lightsaber light guiding the way in Disney. I felt like we had the most surreal thing. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. Loved it.
Nice. So he opted for purple, picture. Huh? All right.
Yeah, he did purple. Knowing that we can go back to the Kyber crystal shop and get other ones.
I know. Right? Now you can find them online. Everybody's selling theirs. They're just like, exactly. I don't need this anymore.
The black ones and craziness.
I know.
Anyway, you will get content from there when I get there.
Heck yes, I expect it. So yeah, and so you have to. They don't have. I'm sure Rise of the Resistance they're not going to double the ride up. It's only on the East Coast, the Star Wars ride.
What?
Rise of the Resistance.
No, they have that in California.
Do they? They doubled it up?
Oh, so here's
no fun
that story was, we're riding in one of those cars, and across us, there's all these other cars going, and this girl is like pointing a camera at us the whole time, right? And I'm like an idiot in there. I was just beside myself with that ride.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I was nerded out.
So later, we see that girl in another line where we're snaking through it, and I'm like, hey, this your mom and dad? It's like a total stalker in Disney. She's like, ugh. And I said, listen, this is a really weird request, but you guys filmed your experience, and I'm sure 90% of your content is me acting like an idiot child in there. Could I have that video? Could you see me a copy of that video? I'm like, I'm not trying to stalk you, but the whole time, if you watch, I'm sure it's our family. They'd be like, the whole time. They never did, but
you start getting hit with a Mickey bag. Yeah, they pervert.
Yeah, well, so for now, if we go again, I'll be like, no, you guys wait and get the other car. Don't come in our car. Film our car. We'll film each other when we go through. Because I was just
what you need, and I don't have it near me, is go get an Insta360, a 360-degree camera. Oh, I have one, and oh my gosh, because you can just hold it and it'll film everything, and you can flip around and watch it anything at any point as it happens. In the right. That's the Matrix. That is the Matrix. They have the X5's out right now. So literally 2 days after I bought the X4, the X5 came out. I was livid.
It's like a cloud platform. The API changed. Sorry.
Yeah.
To tie it back to our original conversation, I don't know how we get so lost.
And there is a phone app that you can control that with it. So that the data is not there. It's up in the cloud.
Of course.
There you go.
Kevin, man.
All right, Keith.
Sure let me come visit.
Thank you, sir. Hang out. Don't go anywhere. And also, you guys do not forget, if you're interested in some of that training Keith was talking about, go ahead, go to our website, Oxygen Forensics. Go check it out, Legacy and Logic. 25 years of digital discovery. Nice. It's going to be down in Florida, right? Crown Plaza, Orlando, downtown. So it sounds like a good time. So guys, just head over to Oxygen Forensics. Check it out. Keith, thank you very much. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to talk to you in post. For everyone else, we're here every Friday.
Watch me do this, Kevin.
Oh, you do it? They said you can tell somebody's age by the way they do this, because I've seen several ways to do it. Yeah, I don't do it anyway.
Draw it in the air.
I'm a Gen X, we're like,
yeah, that's right.
There's our love.
Exactly.
All right, Keith, take care, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Good to see you.
See ya.